Is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling like the spy. Hope you guys are feeling like the Qs. Hope you guys are feeling like Jeremy. I don't know if anybody heard the big news, but and this would be the Jeremy persona too. There would be no other way. But his other child was born yesterday, and he waited. He waited till the market hit all-time highs. He's like, we're gonna have a kid. This market is gonna be bullish. I need the most bullish sign ever. So as Spy was creeping up there. So congratulations to Jeremy, Svet, the entire Newsom family. And we even all the moderators and mentors, we did pick. So I just want to be fair. We tried to pick what day. We started on like Tuesday. We put out picks on Tuesday, like, hey, what day is this baby gonna be born? So congrats to Tony who guessed. He took the prices right style, went the next day, so he nailed it. But so congrats to everybody. So that's some positivity. If you want to reach out to Jeremy, just let him know. If you want to congratulate him. But very exciting news in that front as well. But we hit the SPY all-time highs, like we mentioned, and yeah, that was a strong close. Mm-hmm. Oof. I mean, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. This arbitrary line I drew, 388.88. I drew this thing like 2 years ago. To be fair, if I draw any line higher, the market is designed to go higher. We could hit a random line and we'll see what happens. Like eventually it will probably end up hitting some line if I put a line at 675. But there's going to be a time probably in history where that line will hit. So not crazy, but we're close to it. I think this line comes from a fib I did like two years ago. It's like an extension, 618 extension. So we'll see if this one hits. But the market is up. If we go to the monthly charts, the market is up just absolutely massive. I'm not. Again, it's a random line. Oh, I got the other ones down here. Interesting. Actually, maybe I did this on a monthly basis. I've been trying to figure this out for months. I think a light bulb just clicked. Hold on a second. I'm not sure where that. Oh yeah, it was off a wave count. I'm not sure where it was, but there was one of those things was an extension. All these lines up here, they were all pre-drawn too. So we did come down. We did hold that little bit of support. We came down. We held that one. We had some resistance up at this. We'll see. We'll see what happens at 538.88. Again, not financial advice. Hold it with a grain of salt. I can't even remember why I drew the line, but it's been on my chart forever. So otherwise, I have no other support resistance up there. I've got nothing else to be like, hey, except for just higher at this point. To the lower side, yesterday's VPOC, if we do get a little bit of a pullback, looks like we're opening pretty flat to where we close, but we end up getting a small little pullback. I'm looking for 533.55 to hold. If that starts to break, this was an absolute monster of a resistance. And we were able to gap up over that hammer and just kind of take it out. So looks good. We even had this little pullback here too. Almost tried to retest some of those, but this is going to be a very strong support now. So I'd be looking for this 529.97 ish, somewhere in that zone to hold. And I think if this would be a good candle if we start to break down. Not saying that we get a recession. There has been some interesting reports. Mainly, I think the craziest one was Citigroup. I don't know if I was on YouTube when I was talking about. I think I was just in the Zoom room, but I was talking about yesterday how they came out and revised the job report, saying like, okay, maybe we didn't have as many jobs as we thought we had. Like maybe that number was a little off, and they revised it yesterday secretly. But Citi came out and they had a report saying they actually believe the recession has already started back in October. So based on their numbers, based on people's credit card spending, they're saying, yeah, consumer sentiment still high. The jobs number was looking good, but not so much anymore. And basically the consumer sentiment or spending, like we've been seeing really good earnings in companies. We just said Lulu, and if you guys got tickers, let me know. We'll pull those up. But we like Lulu just had really good earnings. We've seen Nvidia obviously have good earnings. We've seen companies pretty much across the board, for the most part, have really good numbers. But usually you're spending, right? So when people are spending, those companies can report good earnings. If you lose your jobs or you feel like you might be in danger of losing your job, what's the number one thing you do? Well, you probably cut back on spending or you just don't spend. Right? You don't buy the unnecessary stuff. You don't go on that extra vacation. We saw American Airlines come out. They're like, this summer we're expecting actually a little less travel than usual. So there is some elements. I mean, in this the city report was a little convincing. Like, hey, you know what? Yeah, the market's hitting all time highs, but we actually think the recession has already started back in October. So, if you guys want to pull that article up, you could look at that, and then if they come out and they're revising and saying, "Hey, we don't have as many jobs," well, something to think about. Something to think about. But for right now, market strong close on the SPY, all time highs. So we'll see. Go with the trend. It's also election year. Typically, markets do pretty good in election years. And the other interesting just about the political side, the election year, the one thing that the markets hate is uncertainty. Like, oh man, if this guy gets in the White House, what's going to happen? This year's election, we've already had a previous sitting president and we have a current president. So we kind of know the markets kind of know the situation of like how either of them do, like what their policies would be. And so you actually do take away a little bit of that element too. So for either candidate, at least for now. So we got a long time. We got 5 months till election. But Qs all time highs. We got VPOC on this one, so a little bit of support, somewhere around 462.55. Again, really good close. This is actually gapping up a little bit. SPY was pretty much right at close. This was not too far off. We'll see if we get a little pullback on the Qs, and maybe that bleeds into the SPY just a little bit. But I want to see 462 is my first level. 462.42 holds, and then we got some support, decent support. 459.16. Unfortunately, I didn't draw arbitrary lines on my chart for the Qs about 2 years ago. So we'll see. But we got TLT, really good close, not a great open. Not a great open. We do have resistance on TLT somewhere around 93.64 is the next spot. We've had a few, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 really good days in a row on TLT. So we are getting a small little gap down here. We'll see if that holds. The main point is that 92.11 was taken out 2 days ago. So we have a little bit of support, 92.59, and then we'll see if we pull down to this 92.11 zone. So we'll see what happens on that one. Tim says VRT. VRT. Oh, nice hammer right at the 50 EMA. Good breakout yesterday. Could see some follow through. We're right at the VPOC from yesterday. It has a lot of room. I don't know the volume on this one. I just don't day trade it for no other reason than I just have never done it. You might hit a little resistance in here, but all those levels have already been kind of messed with. So if that's the case, and we are above the 20, I'm gonna add this one to the list. I'm gonna get this one pretty high. The next target on this one up that I think we could get to is about 103.39. So that gives me a lot of room on this one. That's fine. Add this one to the list. Do I want to see a pullback first on this one? I'd be okay with a high wave candle. Give me a high wave indecision 3 minute candle. And it depends on where we open on this one too. A really good entry for a swing is if we pull back and we start holding this 94.35. Then we can get some stops low of the day. So for swing trades there. But if we open right underneath that resistance, yeah, I'll take a little high wave candle, take the break of it. Hopefully that's also breaking that last little VPOC level. And it does have a lot of room on it, so we'll keep that one pretty high on the list as well. It's got some room on it. PayPal. Nice gap up on PayPal. Yeah, I was loving that open yesterday. So even though it did turn into a red candle from open, it's still closed with some positivity. Nice little hammer. But the level I was looking for is, I think it was 63.33 on this one. So it was a great gap above it. We've got the 200 we ran into. That's going to add some pressure. Even though yesterday was a red candle, we still closed higher than the previous day. I would want to maybe play this a little bit more like a retest. And we do have some resistance below us, but nonetheless, I do want to remain bullish. I think those moving averages have to kind of catch up a little bit. Resistance on this one, we're looking at one right in the eyeballs, 447, and then the next little resistance is 64.76. How I would love to see this one in a longer term, and I have shares, I got options, I'm pretty stacked up on some PayPal. That being said, I still wouldn't mind seeing this kind of retest into this hammer eventually, and then this happens. Because we've had a few days in a row of people making some money, and we do have this resistance up here. Not enough room to short. Um, we do have enough room to go long if we think this could break. I don't know if today's the day that wants to break out. Let's see. Was there any news on this one, on this gap, or just take these things off using 200-day moving average, evaluate PayPal. That was 2 days ago. Okay. So no real news, but we are above we're now firmly above that 200, like we talked about. That's a really nice hammer. So I think any retest in that, these shorts, they're looking to bail. So yeah, any retest into that for the longer term, great. I'd be a little more cautious. Not that I can't run bullish today, but I would be cautious just with those resistance right above us going bullish right out of the gate. FIVE, not good. Not good on Fiverr. No, it's not good when I gotta scroll out and down. Even Fiverr, nobody's spending some money there, I guess. But they missed by 2 cents, almost 3 cents earnings per share. They missed by 22 million on the revenue side of things. I know people that use this company. Oh, hold on. I thought this was Fiverr. Never mind. This is Five Below. Well, if that's the case, they're about $101 away from Target. Yeah, Five Below. They got the below part. They went below every little support. But yeah. It is a big gap. We've sold into this. We're opening a little bit of support. I don't like the fact that we broke down this. I would look at this as a little bit more of a fade on Five Below today. I don't think we get all the way up to 132.77, so I'm not looking for a full-on retest, but probably somewhere in the 115 zone. Maybe let's see if there's any other. This spot would be a really good one, and that's a lot of room to the bull side. Otherwise, this is a pretty devastating gap from. Maybe we could get to like 113.23, which gives us some room. We'll get this one higher, see what happens. There's quite the miss, quite the gap. If only Five Below added a little AI. That's all they needed. We'll get this one up here. I still like the VRT gap a little bit better, but if I'm looking for a fade somewhere, Five Below would be it. Let's see if some buy the dippers come in, and more importantly, I don't think the buy the dippers are what we need. We need some people wanting to cover this, cover some of the shorts, take the profits. Good looking double top, gave some people a reason to get in. We closed well below that volume. Got some more volume in here as well. So if any of those shorts are in, yeah, I would be looking for a fade. It is definitely too big of a gap for me to go short on. but wouldn't mind considering going short at a future date. So I would look for a fade on that. We got Amazon on the list, AMZN. Um, Uber getting lifts, getting a lift. You got Amazon. Yeah, good close. We still have so my concern on this one, and we obviously we're if we're ever going to hit all-time highs again, we're gonna have to get through moving averages. So, but today you do have that 20 right in front of you. Pretty good close. Then you got some strong resistance at like 182, and then you have resistance up at like 183. So otherwise, good break. If you're in it, I would look to hold. Maybe get your stops under here, somewhere. So probably get my stop to like 174 or 49. This is 3 days of buying. If we could break above this 20, I would be more interested. Again, my target though, I think my final target for today is about 183. If we start breaking that, we got another good one, 183.85. But it looks like it's starting to go higher. I wouldn't mind to see some kind of a pullback even into like this 179.92 and a much better one if we get down there about 178.42. But you got some EMAs, you got some levels of VPOCs all right there too. So a little bit more congested on Amazon. We'll see if they end up getting some kind of a break today. Well, let's get this one higher. Uber. Let's check out that Uber getting a lift. That's not Uber at all. That's Ruber. The Ubes. Yep. Let's see. Lift forecast 15% annual growth. What's good for the goose is good for the entire farm. I think that's the saying. But yeah, it is a retest gap into resistance on Uber. The news did come in on Lyft, not Uber. This would be a sympathy play, but I think we're already gapping on that news. So I wouldn't mind seeing a fade down on this one. It's got a little room if you want to short it and try to play this fade. But targets would be 65.71. That's probably where bulls step in. Um, you do have a little bit of a gift on this one. Again, can we see a red candle today? Yes. Does that mean it's bearish? No. I think it's a very nice doubled bottom. Here you got kind of almost those higher lows. You actually hit support perfectly. And we were in some kind of downward channel. Nice break yesterday. And this is probably going to be a retest gap. Let's see. And then it depends on where we open on this one. So if we're opening, looks like we're right above that last resistance. The bull case would be 67.97 if we get up there. And if we go crazy, my next level would probably take us to about 68.33-ish. So I want to see where this one opens. Since we started talking, it did move up a little bit higher than those last VPOC. So we'll see. We got Hood. Looks phenomenal. Okay, might be my new favorite gap. Still wouldn't mind being patient. This is technically a retest gap, but all of those candles were inside day candles. So I'll let that first 3 minute candle play out, see if we get some kind of retest to like 2202, or just give me a high wave candle, give me something, but that's a really nice gap. Targets, we could probably try to hold. I don't know. I'd have the tendency to want to hold for a 3 on that one, but I'd be okay if we try to hold for like a 2. I don't think we have to swing for the fence, but yep, clearing pretty much all volume at this level. So yeah, I like it a lot. All right. So I think I got Hood now as my favorite. VRT number 2. I'll stick 5 as number 3. PayPal and then Amazon. Amazon does look good. We just got that resistance. And then we did look at Hood, but the news was Lyft. So let's take a look at them. So retest gap from yesterday. That's inside day. This could be treated a little bit more gap and go-ish. Again, resistance probably coming in around 1681. If we could break through that, next target up about 1706. I don't know that some of these resistance. I think the real next resistance on this is about 1706. These have all been kind of retested, messed around with, but I probably a little struggle bust at 1681. I think we could get through it. So yeah, about 1706 would be my target, I think. Which on a $16 stock, that is a lot of room. So yeah, I do think you have probably a little bit more room on Lyft than you do Uber. Let's see if we get that one. And Lyft is a little bit more beaten up, I think, than Uber is. Almost bounce off that 200. Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to play I'd probably want to play Lyft over Uber. All right, Bernie says, "Good morning." What's up, Bernie? Vitality, good morning. Just curious, any of you trade crypto or just good old stocks for day trading? No, so in the live room, I don't really trade crypto, but we could look at it. BTC, USD. I will trade crypto every now and then, but for me, I'm not too big. Yates is much bigger into crypto space, but um, I like the bigger ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum, those guys. But otherwise, a little bit of a resting day right now in Bitcoin. Obviously, you have pretty good breakout. It did run into my target, so 71 234 would be my target on that one. If we could start getting above, well, if we start getting above that 71 234, the next little resistance 71 791, we hit that already. I think we're able to take that one out, and then probably next small resistance would be 72 320. But we obviously have some longer term resistance up to these levels, so a little consolidation, a couple days of just sideways chop, maybe, especially after that move. Let some of those moving averages start to push out, but everything does look still bullish in crypto and or at least Bitcoin, and that has the tendency to push everything else. Biggest target on this one, biggest resistance is somewhere up at this 73, just above 73,000. And if we get past that, you're looking at most likely all-time highs on Bitcoin. Uh, Bernie says I usually just trade the ES. Yeah, you could. You could trade some futures. The difference, the main difference is it's less news. So if you're trading obviously any stocks, they'll have earnings, they'll have random news throughout the day. They have a CEO leaving. If you're trading futures, you're just trading macro events for the most part. And then you do see the some of the trends and patterns play out better. But you got Shopify, the shop, gapping down. It's okay. A little bit of a gap down after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row. Let's throw a quick fib on this one. Throw a quick little fib. So the 38% retracement is right into that level. So watch for like 59.70, our first little resistance. Otherwise, I think if shop gets down to 59.09, I think that's still a decently healthy pullback, maybe slightly lower. We'll just call it $59, but somewhere in that $59 range, I think that's still a pretty healthy pullback. You do have the 618 at 58.40, so that's my worst case scenario. Would love to see some kind of a bounce there, creating that higher low, and then start us on a journey. But we did put in, and let's also do one more fib on this one, out of curiosity. Let's see where we got rejected yesterday. Right at that 618 retracement. So from the start of this gap down to the lows, we stalled out right at the 618. Great spot for that little pullback. So Probably need to chop around a little bit. I'd let this thing come a little lower and then see if we could catch a double bottom somewhere, even on a swing trade would be fantastic. I'm hosting the swing trade room tonight, so in Slack, if you guys want to throw out any tickers for the swing trade room, let me know. We got Carvana. Decent. Still retest gap. If I could catch this one on any type of pullback, not saying it's going to, but if it does, 106.07 would be my location. Otherwise, you do have a little bit of resistance right above us. That's somewhere around the 109.66 zone, and then back up to 110. What was that? 110.88, something like that. Coinbase, COIN. Nothing really stopping it. This one has pulled back into support. I'm gonna throw this one higher on the list too. I want to see a high wave candle. I'll take a hammer too, but I won't be as happy. Just a miserable. But you're right at that support. So good close yesterday. We would be looking for some kind of continuation. If we can hold this 249.38 zone, my target is still up to 256.38. Bitcoin, we just looked at, it does have a little bit of a potential resting day. At least it's inside for now. So maybe, who knows, maybe it does break out today. But this little pullback is right at that support we need to hold. And if we get that little high wave indecision, give me something to play right here. Tell me it's going to hold. Then I got my, obviously we probably got the high of the day. So we got to get through 251.38. I think that's doable. And then looking for that 256.38. So not bad. Lyft, we did take a look at. Lulu. Again, their numbers were pretty good. I picked it up for the long term at, I think I got it at like 305 and change 2 days ago. My intrinsic value on this company when I was just running the numbers is 338. We're after this gap, we're right there. Does that mean that that's how traders are going to respond? No, typically you trade all around the intrinsic value, and most people don't even look at it. But I have 338 as my intrinsic value for here. This is definitely a good gap and go. Could be in a little deserted island down here. So big gap down, big gap up. Very, very bullish if this gap holds. We'll see by the end of the day. Big support on this one should be about 322.95. Not sure if we get down there today. You're definitely squeezing some bulls, especially this candle here from that last earning. So anybody in this thing bearish, even had a bunch of days in a row into it, I would be leaning a little bit more bullish than bearish on Lulu if you're going to trade it. I think it is starting. Careful of that, but I would be looking for more continuation bullish move on this one. See if we get any kind of pullbacks. Maybe look to hold this like 335 zone. We'll see. But that was the morning bell. So everybody on YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. And we'll be back to